Hi everyone! In today's hyper-digital age, keeping up with the latest tech and trends is never ending. But knowing what's new is just the tip of the iceberg. That is why I am so excited to be joined today by futurist and trends expert Scott Steinberg to chat about some of the latest trends and how to set your business up for future success. Scott, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, and the right time to be talking about it because, boy, are things moving fast these days, huh?
Diving right in, I've heard you talk a lot about future-proofing, both yourself and your business. But before we kind of get into that, can you
Yeah,
actually define what future-proofing is?
sure. Well, since you brought up the F word, I'll bring up another one. And future proofing, really, we say, is flexibility. That's the essence of it. It's the ability to adapt to whatever the future throws your way. But if you're going to do that, knowing that unpredictability is the only thing that we can predict going forward, it means that you got to have a lot of tools in your toolkit. You got to have an open mind. And most importantly, you got to have systems, processes, and platforms in place that allow you to pivot on the fly because heaven knows the competitive landscape, the economic landscape, all these are going to be shifting in front of you, which means that you got to be behind the wheel and actively steering if you want to move around the hazards or steer towards opportunity as you go. So at the end of the day, from a business perspective, it's really about finding ways to operate in more elastic fashion, if that makes sense.
That leads perfectly into my next question is, if a small business is trying to be flexible, what are ways they can leverage technology to do this?
Well, I would actually say, what are the ways you can't or aren't able to use technology to do this? So, the reality is, just about any challenge you're facing, many other business owners are also facing it, which means that there's probably a pre existing technology solution that you can tap into and leverage, oftentimes in pay as you go and super accessible and scalable format to solve that challenge, or that you can retrofit to do so much more effectively. So the beauty of technology is it really allows us to offload a lot of the drudgery and the automated tasks, the challenges that we may face day in and day out that eat up time on our schedule, and allows us to focus on high value tasks. And on top of it, you can also turn to technology and analytics as a way to see where customers were spending, where maybe there's opportunities in the marketplace, or where you could achieve better cost efficiency by doubling down and streamlining your operations. So the reality is, technology makes a great way to offload some of those time consuming challenges, but it also makes a great way to gain deeper visibility into your business and customer habits and how they're changing so that you know how to strategize in turn.
That's a really great insight that you provided because so often we talk about technology as a way, you're right, to offload tasks, but it really comes down to identifying ways that you can improve your business, your offerings, or even figure out better ways to kind of automate things or make your business more efficient.
That's right. That's right. So we actually describe people in their careers and businesses and their operations. They're best equipped to be in a state of permanent beta, like a piece of software, where you're always testing, you're always refining, you're always improving. And the beauty of technology and data visualization systems is they not only give you deeper insight into the shape of the changing business market and your business and customers than you ever have had in the past, but they also make it easier to spot actionable changes that you can make in the way you're doing business at a glance.
I know we're talking about the future, but I think looking at the past couple
Mm.
years have really proven how important it is to be able to just kind of change up your offerings or how you're doing business in order to survive. Because you never know what's going to happen anymore.
So actually, this is a good point that you bring up. A lot of times we talk about what things look like in the new normal. I actually would argue that we're going to be dealing with a series of next normals, and at the pace the change now happens, they're going to be coming on more fast and furious than ever, which means that you've also going to be able to think and move faster on your feet than at any point in the past. And again, the variables can constantly change in front of you, which means that you as a small business need to be a little bit more flexible and a little bit more resilient. And sometimes that means not going at things alone. Oftentimes, teaming up with other small business owners to figure out how you can achieve cost savings collectively or work together to offer more comprehensive services and solutions or enjoy all sorts of benefits. I mean, this is the way forward. So really it's about thinking about what can you do to mix and match solutions on the fly. If you remember the old TV show MacGyver, you're really trying to combine talent, skills, and resources in your professional toolkit to create something new.
Building right off of that, collecting new resources, I kind of have to ask. Chat GPT has been everywhere. I've seen TikToks about it. I've seen blogs about it. We've written blogs about it. Can this or other AI tools be beneficial to small businesses? And if so, how can they leverage them?
Of course. Well, when it comes to AI, it really can help you solve problems on the fly and gain information on the fly. In fact, AI can even be used to write software code. The thing that you have to watch out for is at the current state it's in, it's still early in the process. Some of that material may not be original. It may wind up taking things, software pieces that are licensed from, not licensed from other sources. So you have to apply AI very judiciously. Now, the nice part is AI can mean really keeping an eye on inventory tracking and what products are moving and where and what deals are making them much more effective sellers in the marketplace, and can be very helpful in that regard. Just like AI might help you if you're generating generic website copy and product descriptions, maybe
Mhm.
it can help you again offload some of those tasks. But you do have to keep a close eye on it and make sure that you're not dealing with any of the glitches, imperfections. We've seen it where AI, for example, has sourced content that it's not supposed to, or it maybe pulls inaccurate content, which means that it needs human overseers still to make sure that it's maintaining its accuracy and efficacy.
Yeah, there's still an element. It doesn't do your job completely for you. It can help, but you shouldn't just let it go on autopilot. I think we've seen plenty of movies where we've learned that that's not the right thing to
That's right.
do.
That's right. Skynet, Terminator, bad. Do not want.
Okay, well, speaking of the future, I know you've got some projects happening that could actually help small business owners get into the mindset of a futurist, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, actually, I like to explain that you don't necessarily need to have a ton of training or background and education to be a futurist. A lot of us can think more effectively like a futurist if you just make a point to think a few steps ahead and apply a little bit more critical thinking. And most of all, ask yourself some questions about what the future might bring so you can plan and prepare around it. And actually, we have a board game that we're going to be introducing soon that people can download and print and play. And it can teach anybody of any background in any industry how to think more like a futurist, really by thinking about what scenarios or challenges might come their way in the future, and then making a point to map out and role play their way through these scenarios so that they have some game plans, perhaps an A, B, C, or even D through Z in place if they need to make a sudden thing.
Nice, that's awesome. I love the idea of gamifying something that is also so beneficial to not only a business, but just life in general. Well, I think that's all the time that we have today. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And if you're watching this and would like some more advice from Scott, you can check out some of our blogs below, and have a great one. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.